The courtroom was already buzzing long before the gavel ever came down. Not with tension, not with legal arguments, but with something far more unpredictable. The wild, unstoppable energy of 5 children squeezed into the front row of Providence Municipal Court. A plastic firefighter helmet kept popping up above the wooden bench like a periscope. A ripple of giggles traveled from one end of the row to the other, bouncing back again as if the kids had practiced the routine. They hadn't. This was just a Wednesday morning at 10:12 a.m., and chaos had clocked in early. Judge Frank Caprio leaned back slightly, eyebrows lifting, a smile tugging playfully at the corner of his mouth. He'd seen almost everything in his years behind the bench: anger, heartbreak, frustration, relief. But this? 5 kids, 1 mother, and 1 extremely rebellious toy helmet? This was a first. Inspector Quinn stood near the clerk's desk, arms crossed, struggling, truly struggling, to maintain even the illusion of seriousness. "Your Honor," he said, tightening his voice as though he were speaking at a formal hearing instead of to a row of giggling children. "I may need to arrest that helmet. It's clearly a flight risk." Judge Caprio chuckled, shaking his head slowly. "Let's give it a warning first, Inspector. Remember, we're a court of mercy." The gallery erupted in warm laughter, the kind that melts the stiffness out of the room. Even the people waiting on their own cases couldn't help smiling. They could feel it. This wasn't going to be an ordinary hearing. Something special was happening here. Something unscripted and unexpectedly human. And if you're watching this unfold right now, wherever you are in the world, drop a comment and tell us where you're tuning in from. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Order in the Court, because you're about to witness one of the most unforgettable moments Judge Caprio has ever had. Inspector Quinn cleared his throat again and glanced down at the docket, trying to collect himself. "Calling the matter of Katie," he announced, his voice slicing cleanly through the laughter. "Citation for speeding 1 mile per hour over the limit." Katie stood, shoulders squared with the kind of tired courage only a parent of many children could wear. She smoothed the front of her sweater, inhaled as if gathering loose pieces of herself, and stepped toward the podium. Behind her, the 5 children shifted like a tiny, unpredictable weather system gearing up for a full-day forecast. Owen, 6 years old and already carrying himself like the deputy older brother, was painstakingly attempting to tie his younger brother's shoelace. Alex, 5, restless, and unquestionably the ringleader, was whispering very serious, very urgent instructions into the ears of the twins, Anna and Eric. Both 3, both solemn, both nodding as though they were being briefed on matters of national security. And Esme, barely 18 months old, clutched a stuffed giraffe to her chest and stared up at the high ceiling in open awe, as if the courtroom lights were stars. Judge Frank Caprio watched the entire operation with a patience woven from years of understanding exactly what real life looked like. "Good morning, Katie," he said, voice warm, almost grandfatherly. "I see you brought the whole crew." Katie gave a sheepish smile. "I'm sorry, Your Honor. Babysitter canceled last minute, and my husband's out of town. This was my only option." "No apology necessary," Caprio assured gently. "Honestly, I think they might be the best-behaved audience we've had all week." Right on cue, Alex dropped the firefighter helmet, clattered, spun, rolled 3 full feet, and stopped against the front bench. The twins burst into giggles. Esme clapped once like it was part of the show. Inspector Quinn rubbed the bridge of his nose, slowly, like a man preparing for impact. Judge Caprio grinned. "All right, before we lose total control, let's begin." He looked down at the file. The case itself was simple, almost comically so. Speeding. 1 mile per hour over the limit. No priors. Clean record. A mother, running late, juggling 5 children, and a day that had clearly gone off script hours before the citation. "So," the judge said, lifting his eyes, "1 mile over? That's a very exact. Were you racing someone?" Katie let out a breathy laugh. "No, Your Honor. I was just trying to get to Owen's school. I didn't even know I was speeding." "And did you make it on time?" "No. Still late." Laughter rippled through the gallery. Even Inspector Quinn cracked a smile. Caprio nodded, as if absorbing the truth of the whole morning in one long breath. 5 kids, he murmured. That's a lot. A lot of schedules, a lot of little shoes, a lot of everything. Katie nodded. The exhaustion behind her eyes softened. The judge wasn't there to hammer her. He was trying to understand her. Then he shifted his gaze to the front row. Tell me, he said, which one of you is the talker? All 5 hands shot straight into the air. Inspector Quinn muttered under his breath. Of course they are. Caprio laughed, shaking his head. All right then. Who wants to help me today? Alex practically levitated out of his seat. Me. Come on up, Alex. The boy hopped out, nearly tripping over Owen, then marched toward the bench with the confidence of a kid who'd been preparing for this moment his entire 5-year life. Caprio leaned down so their faces were level. You ever been in a courtroom before? Nope. What do you think so far? Alex looked around. The vaulted ceiling, the flag, the rows of strangers. It's big, he said finally. It is big, the judge agreed. And do you know what we do in here? You decide stuff. That's right. We decide what's fair. And today, I might need your help deciding what's fair for your mom. Think you can handle that? Alex nodded with sudden, fierce seriousness. Caprio picked up the rogue firefighter helmet, dusted it off, and set it gently on Alex's head. There, he said. Now you're official. The courtroom loved it. Laughter swelled like a soft wave. Even Katie, still planted at the podium, couldn't help but smile wide. Inspector Quinn stepped forward, playing along with full dramatic flair. Your Honor, he declared. I object. The witness stand never stood a chance. The moment Inspector Quinn delivered his mock-serious objection, the entire courtroom felt the humor tightening like a stretched rubber band. The witness is clearly biased, Quinn declared, chin lifted as if he were addressing the Supreme Court. Overruled, Judge Caprio said without even looking up, waving a casual hand through the air. This is my courtroom, Inspector, and I'll take all the help I can get. A soft ripple of laughter passed through the gallery. Alex, now officially deputized by the plastic firefighter helmet sitting slightly crooked on his head, stood beside the judge with the solemnity of a knight receiving orders from his king. Judge Caprio leaned down. Now, Alex, your mom got a ticket for going 1 mile over the speed limit. Do you know what that means? She was going too fast, Alex said confidently. Exactly, but just a little too fast. 1 mile. That's like if you were supposed to walk 10 steps, but you walked 11. Not exactly a danger to society, right? Alex considered this, then nodded. But rules are rules, the judge continued, tapping the bench lightly. So I need your help. What do you think we should do? Should your mom pay a fine? Come back to court? Or should we just let her go with a warning? Alex looked from his mother to the judge, then to Inspector Quinn, who was trying with all his might to look intimidating but succeeding only in looking mildly constipated. Behind them, chaos simmered. The twins were whispering some secret scheme. Owen was trying to keep them from toppling off the bench. And Esme Sweet, curious Esme, had found someone's pen and was testing its durability with baby teeth. How much money? Alex asked. Maybe $50, Caprio answered. Alex's eyes widened dramatically. 50. That's a lot. It is. The judge agreed with a nod. So what else could we do? Court costs, Alex suggested, repeating a phrase he'd clearly heard an adult say at some point. That's an option. Or 5 days in jail. The entire room gasped, then burst into laughter. Inspector Quinn actually blinked at the ceiling in disbelief. We're not sending your mom to jail for going 1 mile over, the judge assured him, chuckling. But I appreciate that you're thinking about all the possibilities. Caprio lowered his voice, warm and gentle. Here's the thing, Alex. Rules matter. They keep us safe. But sometimes we have to think about why someone broke a rule. Your mom wasn't speeding because she wanted to. She was trying to pick up your brother. She's taking care of all of you. That counts for something. Alex glanced at his mom. Tired, hopeful, smiling through the stress, and answered softly, "Kind. I agree," the judge said. "Now repeat after me. My mom was 1 mile over. Please dismiss." Alex lifted his chin, took a breath. "My mom was 1 mile over. Please dismiss." Judge Caprio straightened, slipping into his official tone. "Well, Alex, I think you made the right call. Case dismissed." The gallery applauded. Katie exhaled so deeply it almost looked like her shoulders melted. The judge handed Alex the gavel. "You want to do the honors?" Alex gripped it like Thor with a learner's permit and brought it down. Thunk. Case dismissed. The room erupted. The twins shouted victory. Owen pumped his fist. Esme waved the giraffe like she was declaring independence. Inspector Quinn shook his head, failing miserably at hiding his smile. Katie gathered her small, wiggling army. "You're free to go," Judge Caprio told her warmly. "Just keep an eye on that speedometer, and maybe invest in a clone or two." "I'll try, Your Honor," Katie laughed. She turned to leave when the judge called out one last time. "Katie," she looked back. "I have 5 kids too, so when I say you're doing great, I mean it." For a heartbeat, the courtroom fell quiet. No laughter, no whispers, just a mother standing a little taller because someone finally saw how hard she was trying. It was a small thing, a simple nod of understanding, but to Katie, it landed like a lifeline tossed into deep water. She smiled, soft and grateful. And before she could say anything more, Inspector Quinn seized the moment with theatrical precision. "Well," he announced, turning toward the 5 tiny forces of nature in the front row. "Since you all just helped run my courtroom, I think you owe me a raise. What do you say?" 5 voices shouted as one. "No!" Laughter erupted so loudly it bounced off the marble walls. Even the stenographer, the most disciplined soul in the building, had to hide a grin behind her hand. Katie gathered her crew like a shepherd collecting a runaway flock. Owen grabbed Esme's hand. The twins chased each other in looping circles. Alex marched forward proudly with the plastic firefighter helmet still slightly crooked on his head, until Katie noticed it was missing. 1, 2, 3, 4. "Alex, where's the hat?" He froze. The helmet sat forgotten on the bench. Judge Caprio stepped down from the bench, picked it up, and handed it to the boy with a conspiratorial wink. "Can't forget your equipment, Inspector Alex." Alex slipped it back on as if it were a crown, saluted the judge with exaggerated seriousness, and followed his siblings through the double doors. And just like that, the courtroom settled again. The rustle of papers, the shuffle of chairs, the return to routine. But the warmth didn't go anywhere. It clung to the walls like sunlight long after sunset. 5 kids, 1 exhausted mom, and a judge who understood that sometimes the law isn't about punishment at all. It's about heart. So here's the question for you. If your child were the judge for a day, what would they say? Guilty or not? Drop your answer in the comments. And make sure you subscribe to Order in the Court for more stories like this. Moments that remind us that justice isn't only about rules. It's about mercy, humor, humanity, and doing the best we can. Dramatization for storytelling and education, not legal advice or reporting.